Hey, welcome to Digging into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Tiller Coaching. All right, well, it's day 64, and I used to live in St. Louis, and in town there's an interstate that goes right through the middle of downtown, Interstate 64, but no one from St. Louis calls it 64. Everyone calls it Highway 40. Why? St. Louis. I don't know. Roar! Okay, if you're joining me for the podcast here and now and have no idea what just happened, that's okay. Let me explain it to you. Lion's Choice, famous seasoning. Don't sleep on it. Man, for Thanksgiving, I dumped so much of that stuff on my mashed potatoes. It was so good. I have a bit, and it's fine. It'll probably come up one more time before the end of this study. But, this section is about end times. And in the book of Revelation, Jesus is referred to as the lion. And rawr, that seemed like a good idea to wear the shirt. And also, ironically, there's a callback to the book of Daniel. And Daniel is the character that found himself trapped in the lion's den. Roar! So I couldn't resist. Please forgive me. I guess that was the perfect lead-in. Let's go ahead and dig in. This is Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 15. So when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let the one who is on the housetop not go down to take what is in his house. And let the one who is in the field not turn back to take his cloak. And alas, for women who are pregnant and for those who are nursing infants in those days, pray that your flight may not be in winter or on a Sabbath. For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now. No, and never will be. And if those days had not been cut short, no human being would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. Then if anyone says to you, look, here is the Christ, or there he is, do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders so as to lead us astray, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. So if they say to you, look, he is in the wilderness, do not go out. If they say, look, he's in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and shines as far as the west, so will be the coming of man. Wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven will be shaken. Then will appear in heaven the signs of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So that's some fun, light reading. Thanks for joining me on that. I've got like a minute and a half to decipher all of that. That should be easy. Well, let's start at the beginning. This abomination of desolation calls back to the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 31. Forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and fortress, and shall take away the regular burnt offering, and they shall set up the abomination that makes desolate. All right, I'm glad I was able to clear things up there. Isn't that great? Okay. I think it's very fitting here that in this parenthetical, it says, let the reader understand. Okay, Jesus, we're going to do our best. We're going to try to understand whatever in the world is happening here, what you're talking about. Okay, so let me be honest. Like when I get to sections like this, I honestly just scoot through them and try not to give it much thought because it's kind of weird and scary and I don't understand it, so I'm just going to keep it moving. And that's okay. Jesus is painting a picture of what is going to happen. Like he's very much revealing some end times kind of stuff, and it's crazy. And here's the thing. I joke that I need to wrap it up in a minute and a half, and I'm gonna blow time here. But here's the thing. I don't follow Jesus just for the then and there of heaven, and I hope that you don't either. At these end times where things are going to be so crazy and desperate, I think everyone's going to be like, okay, yeah, like, is it too late? Can I still get in? And I don't know, there's some deep theology in here that I can't even begin to like fathom. Like, I'm going to ask Jesus about all of it when I get to heaven, but like, I don't know when it's going to be too late. But if we just want Jesus for the then and there of heaven, I think we're shortchanging ourselves, because it's not about just that. Certainly it's about that, but it's also about having Jesus in the here and now. Having Jesus in the here and now is so sweet. It might not be like easier, but it is better. And I just need you to know that, because you could get real carried away with all this end time stuff and say, okay, well, I'll just believe in Jesus for that. Well, that's silly, man. Like, it's good. Like, we need him for then, because that's going to be crazy times. But we need him here and now too. Like yesterday they talked about the birth pains. I think we're all kind of feeling that to a certain extent. And outside of even that, it's just better to have Jesus. So that's what I have to say about this section. I hope that that's helpful. I know that it's all still very clear as mud, but I don't know. Thanks for joining me on this. I appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow as we continue on with chapter 24. See you then.